What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Coming to you for another little Lost Relics stream. You have to bear with me today, guys. I'm a little under the weather. But I wanted to get a little bit of grinding in, and we had a pretty good conversation going in the Telegram, the Lost Relics Telegram. So I wanted to go ahead and give my 2 cents, give my feedback. How's everybody doing today? Natata, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the strike team. Must have just missed you right there when you must have hit the follow button right before we came on. Actually, I'm ready to go. I should have just gone into Mount Oka. We'll get one run in real quick, and then we'll jump into the topic for the day: Lost Relic, NFTs, engine, and fair market value. Finish my bounties for the day or for the week, and sure, some new bounties are about to come back up. Troll up, what's going on? How you doing? Thanks for jumping on in, man. We're just gonna get this stream going. I'm gonna do a quick little run while we get some people in here. Then we're gonna go ahead and jump into the topic of the day. Been having a good amount of feedback from the Lost Relics Telegram group talking about pricing of NFTs, whether they should be priced in dollars, in engine. How should people take a look at how to value these NFTs? So I'm gonna update the community with some things that I just recently did, and hopefully give you all a little more information so you can make your own decisions. And we will go from there. In the meantime, I'm gonna drop these Sorellas. And I haven't been in Mount Olkept in about a week. I've been grinding all these bounties done. Did you all finish all your bounties already? I don't even know what the clock is. How long is left on those bounty turn-ins? Okay, let's see. I had hit a whole bunch of legendaries. I was hitting a bunch of legendaries, mostly mining related, over this past week. I think I've hit 5. Can't complain, can't complain. Hopefully you're having the same type of luck I am. TGIF. It's going to take a good weekend to get some rest and relaxation in. I need it. My allergies just like hit me the past 2 days. Practically knocked me out. Still dealing with them. I wasn't able to sleep much of it last night at all. But we'll make it through. We'll make it through. Any advice for a level 10? What's going on, Frodo? Level 10, level 10. Well, it comes down to what you're feeling like right now. Like, what are your plans? Are you wanting to stay? Are you free to play? Are you trying to go down the free to play route? Are you willing to invest some money? Kind of get an idea here. I can tell you this, like when I was level 10, my main objectives was upgrading my weapons. That's mostly everybody's first objective. Right now we're, and one of the main purposes for the stream today was to talk about, these NFT items and what they're worth and how to invest in these things. We've had some discussion in the Telegram. I don't know if y'all aren't in the Telegram right now, you should probably jump in the Lost Relics Telegram, catch up on the conversation that we just had probably, I think it was like 4 or 5 hours ago. Maybe it was while I was sleeping. I not pretty sure. But I'm going to give my 2 cents. Do me a favor, guys. If you're in game right now or you're in the Telegram, just go ahead and put a comment in there real quick for people to jump on in so we can start this conversation, because it was pretty heated a little earlier. Not heated as in arguments, just more like people have some very good opinions, and it's a really good time to share them. For level 10, I was focused on getting my first epic. I think it would be important. Like right now, you can probably get, if you wanted to invest and go for the legendary class, you could probably get a legendary item for around between $30 and $60, I would assume. D-Shiz Gaming, what's going on? Welcome to the strike team, buddy. Thanks for jumping on in. We're gonna hit some hard topics. Probably gonna get a little passionate. I hope I have the energy for it. I've been trying to conserve my energy all day. Normally I'm full of energy, but just allergies and the stress of work have really took a toll on me today. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Gotta get a little Lost Relics grinding in. You know what I mean? For level 10, I mean, look, this is the way I prioritize the game. Everybody has their different perspectives. For me specifically, I realize that I'm not going to be able to grind as much because because of the amount of hours I'm working right now. So I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to compete with a lot of the top players right now in terms of grinding XP. But where I can compete is by playing the market. Now this is just my area of expertise, playing the market for NFTs and for gold in the Royal Emporium, so that I can keep the pace. That being said, like I focus on being able to farm as many blockchain items as possible. So that means focusing on how fast you can kill mobs. You know, you're a new player, you're in the lower level dungeons, which is completely fine. Every single dungeon, you have the same chance of getting a transcendent weapon or any kind of weapon. The higher the difficulty, your chances improve, the rates improve slightly enough to where, like, I don't prioritize going into a bigger dungeon if you're not ready. I prioritize, like, how fast can you clear your dungeon and kill the enemies. The more enemies you kill, the more chances you have to get blockchain loot. So that's where I put my attention. I focus completely on how fast can I kill, take out these mobs and get blockchain loot. Other people focus on other things, like in terms of my skills, like I'm a miner, you know, and I chose to, because I knew I wouldn't be able to compete with XP, you know, I decided to go down one specific profession. Now bounties are helping me level everything up because it's making me travel from dungeon to dungeon, where I used to only run this one dungeon over and over while I was farming. And I've hit some really good stuff. I've hit, I believe I've hit like 4 or 5 mythical items right now that are slightly under $1,000 each. A couple of them are 2,000 engine each. I said 1,000 engine. I meant 2,000 for one of them, and 3 or 4 were 1,000. So like if engine is 60 cents right now, that's like a $600 item that I hit. I think if you're a new player and you're not investing money, I don't see any problem with if you hit a good item trying to sell it on the market. I think right now, because of fees, it's going to be easier for you to like talk with players and try to come to negotiations rather than listing it on paying fees on the marketplace. In terms of that, just have fun. Like grinding can be heavy, but it's because the game's in early access. The game is way worth it. If you're like me, you get hooked immediately. Let's see. D-Shiz Gaming says, just started the game last night. Seeing you in the chat. Figured to see what's up. Yeah, man. I'm glad you were able to jump in. 3 Frodo says, when will they fix gas fees? When will they fix gas fees? Should we change Ethereum? Okay, like now we're getting into the big one, the big conversations. Should we change change Ethereum to something else like Avalanche blockchain? Can't buy pendant with engine. So yeah, now we're starting to get into real the meat and potatoes of it, which is the main purpose. Let me finish this run. I want to pull up the marketplace before we go deep into it. Give a chance for a few more people to jump in the stream too if they're available. But yeah, I think your questions are the same majority of questions that people have right now. I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think I can answer some of them, and I think other ones are going to be left for interpretation. All right, we got another follow. 3 Frodo, thank you, my friend. Welcome to the strike team. Looks like this is probably going to be the last chest. And then what I'm going to want to do is I want to pull up the engine marketplace. I'll get out of the dungeon and we can start the conversation. When will new bounties hit? I think new bounties are probably going to hit in a few hours now. Well, I mean, it might already hit like ASAP. It might be hitting right now. D-Shiz Gaming says, is there going to be P2P right now off the bat, and what are the benefits? Okay, yeah, so right now, like the next few updates, and we don't know how long it'll take, you know, but the next few updates, Cliff is planning to introduce Arena, and then potentially multiplayer too. Arena will probably be more like a wave-based type of event, where you and it might be co-op once multiplayer comes out. To be able to have early access to multiplayer, you need to be an owner of the Founders Token like I am. The skin I'm wearing right now is from the Founders Token. I think right now on the blockchain, like the Founders Token is going for a like 2,300 engine approximately. That's just a guess off of what I remember. Let me see if I can pull up now that we're out of the dungeon. I might have an issue with this. I'm hoping I don't. Let's see. All right, perfect. You're all going to be able to see this. All right, so let's see. Let me post in the in-game chat real fast. Let people know we're about to start the discussion. Now you can see me there. And I'm going to actually go back to the dungeons before we post in the chat. Here's my level so you guys can take a look while we head back. Obviously focused on mining. Alchemy and production skills were one of the things I focused on in the beginning of the game. It's all currently being built out. I'll show you also my in-game stash so we can talk about some of these items. All right, here we go. So let me post this real fast. I wonder if I can. Oh man, I should put that. Oh well, I'll type it in the Telegram. Okay, so here's obviously the stash. At my last check, when I was loading into my in-game wallet. On the website, I believe it had mentioned that I had about $150,000 engine within my wallet. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so let's get this conversation going. We got a few people in here, and we'll be able to post it for later. Okay, so a really interesting conversation came up in the chat. In the Telegram, people have been discussing how should we understand what the price of these NFTs are going to do in the future. Like, for example, if you buy a $100 legendary NFT right now for the game, you know, do you expect that, you know, that $100 right now would be what, about 600 engine? 600 engine times 60 cents per engine? No, that's not right. Yeah, so if you buy an item right now, let's say it's valued at 100 engine. Okay, 100 engine. If you were intending to sell that item at a later amount of time, in let's say a year. Well, in order to buy that NFT right now, you're gonna have to spend $60 approximately, $60 US, pay 100 engine. The question is, in a year's time, in 3 months time, whatever, the next patch, if you're gonna resell it, should you resell it based on the value of the dollar? Because engine's gonna be going up and down over time, right? So should you be thinking like, okay, I bought this item for $60, and no matter what the price of engine is, when I sell it, I need to get let's say $100, right? So you go up by 60%, 70% of an investment. You put in the money and you make that much money back. I mean, I think that is the easiest way for people to understand like how value of the NFT translates over time. And I can understand why a lot of players, it's the easiest way to value it. But unfortunately, in my opinion, this isn't an easy calculation to make. I don't think applying basic logic from that perspective is enough to really capture the full aspect of the value of these items. Now, of course I'm going to say this and I'm going to give you some feedback. I recently, in the past 48 hours, made an extremely large purchase in Engine. I bought about $10,000 worth of Engine, which was like 16,000 Engine tokens. So I'm letting you know that ahead of time. The reason why I made that investment is it varies. But before I let you know on my feelings on NFTs, I think it's important for you to know that I did make that investment. So I am biased, but my point right now is to be able to just provide the best type of argument that we can make, and then let you decide whether or not you believe that argument is correct or not correct. And based on your assumptions, you can make your own decisions on should I buy, should I sell, or whatnot. So right now, the one thing that I can definitely tell, and I think all of us can feel it, going through the forums and going through Telegram, going through Discord, there's a lot of players in the Engine community right now that are frustrated with what they consider to be the lack of progression by Engine. I understand that what Engine's trying to accomplish with Efinity and with Engine 2.0, I mean, with Efinity and hold on really quick. Let me pull it up. What they're wanting to launch a marketplace in which NFTs can be traded for almost no fees, zero fees for minting, next gen token functionality, which means Engine token's going to have more functionality according to them, and that it's going to be scalable. Okay, scaling issues are what we're having right now because not only are people having a problem understanding the value of NFTs. I mean, it's hard enough, right, to understand what the market is saying, but on top of that, it's hard to read the market when players, which have low budgets, are not able to transact because fees are so high. It doesn't make it worth it for them to trade rare items for $20 when it's going to cost a $20 fee. Boss Kit jumps in, says, if the value of Engine dropped to 1 cent per engine, would you still sell it for the same engine value? And then D-Shiz Gaming says, if I were to get a blockchain weapon and die, do you keep the weapon? So you do. If you have a blockchain item, the way blockchain works is that you own that NFT. So there's nothing that the game can do to take it away from you. You own it. It's in your wallet. Okay. Now you can get some, I guess, in-game penalties, but you won't lose the blockchain item ever. So that answers your question. Boss Kit goes to an extreme with saying, the answer is no. If the value of Engine dropped to a penny, would I still sell it for the same Engine value? The answer is no. But you have to understand that statement that you just made, it's implying a 99.99999% fall in the price of Engine. So how realistic is that? It's not very realistic in my opinion. Now, if you were to say that the price of Engine token were to fall back to its previous low at 17 cents, then we can have a better argument. If the value of Engine fell to 17 cents, I would probably, and I already did this, I purchased, let's pull up the value of Engine. And now I'm going to pull up Engine here this is an Engine in BTC. You see this little arrow? This is the arrow where I invested in Engine token. This is where I bought the $10,000 worth of Engine, just to give you a heads up. So I'm letting you know where I got positioned in the market. Okay. Now I started gaming I started playing Engine and Lost Relics right around this time frame, very near the cycle peak for 2020. Okay. And I've ridden the wave coming all the way down. So you have to understand, from my perspective, I was purchasing transcendent weapons for the first time in this area. I was able to buy a Spitfire. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up my Excel. You're not going to be able to see it because I need to remove some personal information that I have in it, but Let me just pull it up so I can read to you my purchases, and I'll give you a general idea. You can view my wallet. You can view my wallet too and see everything that I'm holding right now. That's Relics Marketplace. So around that time frame, I was buying items like. So let's just go over the Transcendents because they're the big ones. I bought the Founders token for 1,000 engine. Right now it's 2,600 engine. I bought the Dark Scourge for 2,400 engine, and now it's selling for around 10,000 engine, 10 to 13,000 engine. I bought the Spitfire for 8,000 engine. Right now I have it priced of about 15. I think you can find it a little lower on the market. And I bought the Void Ripper for 6,000 engine. And I think that's priced around 12,000 engine right now. I'm spitballing the current prices. I'm letting you know what I bought them for. And I bought a whole bunch of mythics. I mean, you can see my stash. I bought a whole bunch of mythical weapons and everything too in the price range of when engine was worth approximately between 17 and 25 cents per token. As engine dropped in BTC value and roughly gained in dollar value, I made another big purchase, and I purchased the 2 Reckonings, maybe about 3 Reckonings. I have one equipped and 2 in my inventory. I on average for all 3, because I made the negotiations with different players. On average, I paid about 7,750 per Reckoning. And I made that decision, that was like 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, so from my perspective, when I made that decision, engine was at an all-time low. I was able to get a Transcendent weapon, which is extremely rare. And I was able to do that and use engine. I was able to accumulate engine at a cheap dollar value to be able to invest and get the NFT. The value of NFTs have increased significantly more than the value of engine over these past 12 months. For example, that Void Ripper that I got for 6,000 engine is now approximately 12. That's a double. Engine price has also doubled. And engine's price, well, I guess that's a bad example because engine price has also doubled. But like, for example, I got the Founders token and that's almost a triple. Okay. Engine's price is mirroring the increase that I had in the NFT, in my NFT gains. But my NFT gains happened 1 month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and engine's price just recently started skyrocketing. So you can see how engine going up in value will not happen at the same time that NFTs go up in value. Because NFTs, more than likely, in my opinion, are going to be priced based on the amount of supply and demand of the game, based on how many players are demanding these items. Okay? Because they're demanding these items, and because, like, if you're in the Telegram or you're in the Discord, you're going to notice that we just recently hit our all-time high for concurrent players at 1,000 players at a time. If I log into the Lost Relics website right now, if I log into the Lost Relics item and you go to the frequently asked questions, right now, look at this. That's more than I saw last time. Right now, from February 1st to February 12th, 2,400 unique players approximately have played the game. Okay, so that means that there are 2,000-ish. Let's say out of all of these, there are 2,000 of them. Let's say 1,500 are individual players, not duplicate accounts. Then that means that there's 1,500 individuals that are wanting a sword or an axe and a bow. Okay. How many of those bows are available in the Transcendent? I mean, how many of those items are available in the Transcendent class? Well, there's only 95 melee weapons in the Transcendent class, and there's 60 Transcendent items in 60 Transcendent bow and arrows. Okay, so that's a total of 155 weapons that are Transcendents that are being fought over by a player base that is 1,500 people. Okay, so that's a way to calculate demand. Supply is constant for now. What we need to do is adjust supply to take into consideration the new Transcendents that are probably going to come out with the bounty shop, or as these new bounties and quests come out. So let's go back here real quick. Let me check the chat. If you were to get a blockchain weapon and die, oh yeah, we already answered that one. We can say 17 cents engine. Yeah, so you pretty much, you guys I think are caught up with me where I'm at right now. Okay, so here's the other thing you need to realize. So we have to distinguish, this is why it's so complicated. We have to distinguish what the item means for players in the game. That should be the value of the NFT, the NFT value, the utility value, okay? Then we need to know what is the value of engine and the future value of engine, because these games are within the engine ecospace. They're priced in engine and they're being sold on the marketplace in engine. Now, you can buy and sell outside through PayPal, through other people, and you could do it in dollars. That's fine. But you are not going to be able to stop the fact that the entire marketplace of engine is priced in engine. There's a historical track that is keeping track of these items being sold in engine. Let's assume that you believe engine has zero value and it is a zero in this equation. Okay, so let's assume that. That's fine. Then we go to the third item, which is the value of the dollar, which is needed to buy engine, which is needed to get these items, which provide utility. Well, I think we can all agree that the value of the dollar is slowly depreciating because of inflation, which means it's becoming less and less valuable every day. Which means compared to the NFT utility value and the engine value, those are gaining in value more than the dollar is. Okay, when you add A, B, and C together, you should be able to come up with your own opinion on what you believe these items are worth. Here's where the difference is going to be. If you discount the value of engine, if you say value the engine is zero, and we both agree on the value of the dollar, then all we're arguing over is what this means to the player base of Lost Relics, the utility of the transcendent item. Okay? We can both have our different opinions on it, right? And we can bid, we can buy and sell, and I can place my offer because I believe it has more value than you do, and I might be the winner, okay? But if I also apply a value for engine, if I actually believe that these items hold value in engine and engine in itself is valuable, then I'm always going to bid higher than you. I'm always going to overpay than you because I believe that it has more value than you do naturally, which is fine. So you have to ask yourself the question, how many people in the market believe what I just would place a bid like I just described versus you? The market will decide. Because fees are so high right now, it's forcing players to it's forcing smaller players out of the market and having to hold, and it's actually giving the whales, and some people will qualify me as a whale. I don't personally think I fall under that category, since I'm just a collector. But I'm sure I can understand the arguments for it being the other case. If that's the case, then that means that these players, these whales, right now are the ones that are inside the market that are driving prices. If they're the ones that are buying and selling, the argument was made on the Telegram that these whales are manipulating the market. My question and response would be, if whales are manipulating, if a whale comes in and buys one transcendent item, and there's only 20 of those individual items available on the market, any one individual price, whether or not they're a whale or not, is going to change the price of the item. And people are going to say that that's market manipulation. But in reality, if I just wanted to buy it because I believed it was worth that much, because they're so limited, I'm changing the price no matter what. I'm not doing it with the intention of manipulating the price. I'm doing it. The price is being manipulated. The price is changing because of how scarce they are. There can only be 20 bought or sold in a given day. There's only 20 available. So prices are going to fluctuate no matter what. Spitting facts. Fury says spitting facts. I feel you, man. I feel you. So I guess we need to come back to the question of, do you believe that engine has value? Because we can be fighting till we're blue in the face. The God Slayer is better than the World Slayer, or the Archer Ring is better than the Harvester, or we can be fighting that all day, and that's good. That's healthy, and we need that to be able to understand the prices of these items. And as a matter of fact, Sooner or later, someone's going to find a secret in the game or a bug in the game that's going to let them be able to use an item that people aren't thinking it can be used in a certain way. So like maybe your warden key, that's not a blockchain item. Let's assume the warden key is a blockchain item. Maybe someone figures out how to finally use it. Maybe it's in the game and it's hidden. Okay. And that one person knows. And that one person goes and buys all of the warden keys that are on the market. That's not market manipulation. That's additional information that one person has that the rest of the market doesn't. That's a savvy investor, in my opinion. Now, you have to do everything within reason. You don't want to be greedy here. You know what I mean? You got to be careful because it can work both ways. You buy an item today because you think it has value. A new update comes up, and all of a sudden that door that you use the warden key for, all of a sudden that door disappears. Now you're left holding the bags. You own all the warden keys and you have no use for them. No theoretical use for them until the game's updated. We're in early access. Anything from the game can be changed any second. Cliff can come and nerf all of the transcendent weapons because he believes they're too OP. Like that's possible. And he has every right to do it. And honestly, no individual player, he's the designer, he's the creator, he's the artist. It's his vision that he's putting forward and we're along for the ride. You know, we can choose to interact with that story and with that journey in our own individual ways. And the way I've decided to do it, I've started to contemplate this, and this is not official. I've been discussing with everybody on our streams about the creation of a play to earn business inside the blockchain, like me creating my own business to be able to operate within the blockchain, right? What will that business be and how will it operate? I don't know. I'm still developing that plan. But what I can tell you is that I took out a position yesterday with the intention, 2 days ago, with the intention of starting this business, the research phase of this business. I want to be able to have the capital available to be able to make moves in this ecospace. So 2 days ago, I took out this purchase in ENJ. This green arrow right here. After the spike, I waited for a 20% pullback, which I got, approximately a 20% pullback, and I invested here. Now we haven't had that big of a price fluctuation, so I haven't changed in my position. But here's the reason why I did it. I need to be able to, if I'm going to be in this ecospace and be able to run a business, you have to be able to, you have to have ENJ to be able to run a business inside this ecospace. And that's the aspect that I think a lot of players are not taking into consideration. Cliff and other developers and other project creators, they have to hold ENJ on their balance sheet because they need that ENJ to be able to make things happen in this multiverse. Players right now only believe that ENJ's value is only being used right now to buy items. Why is that the case? They're correct. Right now, the primary reason for ENJ, the primary use is so that you can buy an item from another player and you have to typically pay an ENJ. One, we're looking at ENJ describing its future plans. I say future because we have no clue when Efinity is going to come out. Okay. But they're saying coming 2021. Regardless if you believe whether or not these updates, Efinity is going to work and whether these are actually going to happen, what I can tell you is that if a developer wants to stay within the ecospace and build to the future, they have to have ENJ. Players are not taking that into consideration right now because this ENJ token originally launched its ICO and a majority of the investment went to gamers. The initial ICO, I don't have any information to prove this, but I would venture to say 80 to 90% of all the ENJ that were released originally went into individual gamers' hands, not into developers' hands. Developers have been coming in and buying it from gamers to be able to fund their projects. Okay, so when you look at it like from that perspective, look at it from the perspective of a developer. Let's go look at the 5-year chart. This is in Bitcoin, ENJ compared to Bitcoin. Look at these massive spikes. One spike here, one spike here. This is a nice little spike right here, drove the price. I'm looking at volume. I'm not looking at the impact on price. I'm looking at this major spike, this one right here, these volumes. I would venture to say that these purchases are either institutions, businesses that are wanting to hold Engine for price appreciation, like I'm talking about like Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, they're putting Engine to the side and using it in DeFi to farm, or they're developers that are needing them to start their projects. Well, how much Engine tokens actually available? Does anybody in the chat know? I know the number off the top of my head, but I want to see if you know. You already see it on the screen, but the maximum supply of Engine tokens is 1 billion tokens, of which nearly all of it is in circulation. Okay, so my question to you is, all right, out of these 1 billion tokens, how much is actually being put to use? Well, let's go look at the rankings chart. Let's go look at these market caps. This is the market cap of the Engine that is within these individual projects. This is the largest one by far, the multiverse, 2.5 million out of a total of 1 billion. Add all of these up. What's the total? Maybe 3.5 to 4 million Engine are currently placed in projects. Now, these are the top rankings. It's not all the projects. Let's go look at all the projects. Look at some of these projects. Microsoft is only 32 Engine. Binance has 2,000 Engine. Coinbase, like CoinMarketCap. Now, then you start to look at the video game developers. Oh, $800,000, 800,000 Engine of a market cap. Let's go find Lost Relics. 140,000 Engine. Okay, 200,000 for 9 Lives Arena, 200 for six Dragons. So these other little projects, let's just scroll down, have such little Engine placed into them that's the reason why I'm discounting them and not worrying about them right now. I'm just simply looking at the marketplace and looking at the rankings. This counts for 3 or 4 million Engine out of a billion Engine. Okay, so that fact can lead you down the path of two different ideas. Let me jump in the chat real quick before we proceed. Let's see what I'm missing. Fury says, insider trading for now, Efinity should reduce the definitive requirement for Engine or for mining. Supposedly it's going to come out in Q1 or Q2. Let's see. Constantine, 2 billion. Damn, yeah, it was 1 billion. Less than 1%. Less than 1% of the Engine that's being used is being placed into projects right now. You can use this argument to look at it from two different perspectives. The argument that I choose to look at it, I'm going to change this song because it gives me a little anxiety that my stream is lagging. I think everything's going good on stream, right, guys? Let me know. I switched my settings right now. I should be broadcasting in 60 frames a second. You're probably not going to be able to tell. And also at 1080p, I think it should be doing that. Let me know if that's not the case. I might have to work on it in a future stream. I'm gonna go into. I think I've shown you the numbers now, so that I can pretty much talk about the rest while we play. So this engine's not being put into. It's not being put into items. It's not being put into projects because, like I was saying, I'm assuming, and I think the numbers are backing me up. Let me know if you disagree. That 80 to 90% of all the Engine that's in existence is in the hands of gamers, not in the hands of developers. Which means you can look at it two ways. The way I see it as future project developers are going to have to come in and take off like big chunks of Engine out of gamers' hands to be able to mint NFTs and be able to create their games. If they do that, that means that there's a long time coming before the amount of Engine gets to the point where gamers can't get their hands on it. Okay? That should theoretically mean that Engine should be down in value. There's too much supply. You shouldn't be worrying about Engine going up in value. Theoretically. That's not the way that I choose to look at it, because I tend to look at it as the total amount of Engine that's available is also going to be equal to the total amount of NFTs that will ever be available. There's only 1 billion Engine tokens. And even if you go down to the Satoshi level of Engine token for minting NFTs, that still puts a hard cap on how much NFTs can actually hold in Engine value. I mean, in terms of backing value, the fact that the Engine is backed into it. right? You could have a whole nother class of NFTs that have no engine backing, and they theoretically should have less value than the ones that do. So if I'm a Microsoft, if I'm a Bethesda, if I'm a Sony, and I want to be able to create a AAA video game in this ecospace, I'm going to have to buy this engine off the player's hands, which is going to mean that the community of gamers inside engine is going to become more not valuable. What's the word I'm looking for? Their net worth is going to increase, because either they're still holding engine, which is going to go up in value, or which is going up in value, or they sold it and now they have dollars, which they didn't have before. So in their opinions, they're richer. Which means as these games grow, players should become richer and richer and richer over time. Not just because what they choose to buy, has value, but because the supply is going to have to be taken off the market for more games to come into the ecospace. And now we start to go into an argument about, okay, like if that's the case, then the main argument against my point right now is that no one's going to decide to come into the space because fees are too high. Gamers are not going to want to play in the space, and projects are not going to want to mint in the space. Okay? If you believe that that's the case, then pretty much all of these NFTs are probably less in value than what they are listed right now. And I doubt individuals making that decision would be wanting to buy more. If you, however, believe that gamers becoming more, like having more availability to wealth, I believe that's going to have gamers participate more in the ecospace. If I buy a transcendent item in Lost Relics, and that transcendent item goes up by a factor of 3, and a brand new AAA game comes out, I would consider selling my transcendent item, pocketing $2,000 engine as profit, and then using the other 1,000 engine to buy items in that new game. You guys kind of following me there with that logic? Morocco, what's going on, bro? Thanks for jumping on in. Get a little coffee, give me a little energy. So, because of this, I decided, I personally think when we go back to the equation of like how to value these items, NFT utility value plus engine value plus dollar value, or plus or minus dollar value depending if you think the dollar is going up or down, and plus or minus engine value if you think engine's going up or down. Right now, because fees are so high, the only people that are able to play in this space right now that are able to make moves are people that are investing in significantly high valued NFTs, transcendence, lifetime membership passes for other games. I would venture to say that since those whales are the one that have a majority of the money, the majority of the wealth that is currently being willing to be spent, that they should ultimately be the higher end of what the value of this space should be. You may never buy a transcendent item because of the price. You might not have the funds available to do that. Okay? But if a whale comes in and buys up all of the transcendent items in the game, like DeFi Digital. DeFi Digital is a research firm in the crypto space. About 5-6 months ago, they decided to use a significant portion of their funds that they have invested to purchase, I think it was either 5 or 6 of the rarest axes available. And at the time, those axes were worth in dollars, because in their game, all right, there's an epic, the Wings of Shirty. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Epic live on stream while the elite dances in the fire. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. That's the second one I've hit. I'll take it. But actually, that kind of goes to what my point is. If DeFi Digital came in, they spent $185,000 worth of NFTs on these axes that were extremely rare. Think of them like Pokemon. They were shiny variations. You can look at it like a shiny variation of a Pokemon. It's a rare breed of an axie that in order to breed them, you know, the random number generator gives you a very low chance of ever getting one of them. Those NFTs are now worth $800,000. And they spent $150,000 for a video game asset on the Ethereum blockchain. I would venture to say that Lost Relics has as much replayability and is as fun, if not more fun, than Axie, than Axies. And because of that, we have a comparison to make. What's the difference between the people that are paying for Axies and the people that are paying for Lost Relics items? Number one, their player base population is probably much larger. Number two, their player base is probably also more wealthy. Like the average dollar that an Axie player spends versus the average dollar that a Lost Relic player spends is probably dramatically different. So now all we have to do is decide what will it take for players in the Lost Relics community to pay more for these items if these items are going to go up in value. Well, for example, I literally just hit an epic blockchain bow. Based on our player base right now, I think there's only 500 of these available to ever be minted. I think if someone can look on the, let me see. Let me do it right now while we're on the phone. While we're waiting. Let's go pull up the Lost Relics item. Let's go to blockchain. Let's go to epics. How many of these are there? The Wings of Surety should be near the bottom. I said 500. There's 1,000. Well, right now I know that our player base is 1,000. So if every single person wanted to have one of these, and which they won't, because why would they buy this if they could also buy a legendary, right? You get my point. But my point is that our player base is growing to where these are going to become more and more and more in demand. Right now, when I started, the prices were in demand in the Transcendent level significantly, like 5 times less than what they're going for right now. I bought the Dark Scourge for like 2,000 something, 3,000 engine. Right now that Dark Scourge is like, what is it? There it is. 7,000 engine. Someone's selling it for 7,000 engine. That's a very, very, very good price, in my opinion. And why? Because I'm the one who bought it right here. I think this is me. I can't remember. I don't think. Let me see. Is this me? How can I see? Yeah, this is me. This is my wallet address. So you can click my wallet address. You can see my wallet. This is everything that I have. You can see all my trading, all my transactions, everything. So if we go look at, how do we do assets? Yeah, everything that I hold. Okay. I went down a rabbit hole. Why did I do that? Oh, well, my point is that I'm choosing to view it in Engine because Engine is the dominant currency inside this ecospace. Now, that might change. Specific Engine itself is telling us that might change when they say next gen token functionality. Maybe there's going to be a whole different reason to have Engine than just to buy and sell. So, I could get burned. That's the risk. That's the risk that exists. But you can't assume that you're going to make a profit without taking any risk. I guess we should get this item out of the dungeon safely, huh, people? The way I see this going and the way I do this is I believe Engine falls in one of the top 3 gaming, one of the top 3 sectors that you can invest in blockchain. Number 1 is the major cryptocurrencies that are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. Number 2 would be DeFi. which is, you know, decentralized finance within the Ethereum ecospace. Number 3 is gaming, which Engine is by far right now the number one market capped coin. So right now this is CoinGecko. What are you watching? My bad, guys. Did I change the price? I was playing. My bad. I'll come back to it right now. If we just it's sorted by market cap. Let's scroll down to Engine. It's like number 80, 90, somewhere around there. It's in the top 100. At number 88, 562 Engine. It's the number 1 gaming token on the ecospace. And if I'm wrong, correct me, guys. But I believe the next biggest one is Decentraland, which is Mana, and it's not even in the top 100. It was, and I think it just fell out of the top 100. Here it is. It was 105 at 401 million. Okay. So let me switch this back. Oh, let me check also real quick the chat, guys. Let's see. USD or Engine? Engine all the way. I'm good, bro. Just talk. Let's see. Just talk for Engine and NFT for more info, and you'll look for it on YouTube. Oh yeah. So you need to get the translation, right? What language do you speak? I'll for sure post it on YouTube, and it'll have the translation on there for you. Then Engine is more valuable than the asset. Oh, thank you, Boss Kit. You got it. You got it. That's the next level. That's the next question. We now need to ask ourselves, what's more valuable to invest in? An NFT, Engine, or another cryptocurrency? Maybe your money should, if you're looking for a profit, it may be more valuable to invest in Ethereum right now than investing in Engine. It comes down to your personal financial plan. Like, my plan is this. I have my funds set aside for, I have them split out into retirement. Like, I'm not touching this stuff, and that's a lot of Bitcoin and a good portion of Ethereum, so that I can be able to stake with my 32 Ethereum. Then I have stuff that I'm willing to transact. I mean, stuff that I'm willing to hold on to trade to improve my retirement position, which is to improve either switching out of Aave or switching out of Compound, switching out of Maker or whatever, as they appreciate into Bitcoin or Ethereum. How much? That depends on the situation. Maybe it won't be 100%. Maybe it'll only be 50%, 30%, 15%. Maybe I just take out my original investment. Just depends. And then the third one is, what other type of things, what are the other things you would want to do in the blockchain ecospace? The only other thing I can think of, other than investing, is starting your own business. And that's why I took out the purchase of the $10,000 of Engine that I did a couple days ago, because that's the next level of investing that I have. I've set aside another bucket. Each bucket of my investments are doing something completely different. One is planning for my future. One is trying to earn me money right now. And one is trying to be able to build a future business, to be able to generate money on its own. So each segment, each bucket of my investment portfolio does completely different things for completely different reasons. So if one bucket fails, I have the other buckets that can be able to help me. Let's see. Constant says they could mean the staking that comes with Efinity. Exactly. I personally believe, and I don't have any info on this, I think that they mean staking. I think what it's going to mean is that it's going to allow you to stake Engine, and with that Engine, you can become a validator to be able to help people make these transactions on the blockchain on the layer 2 scaling solution, which means that the traffic of the community will run through your channel, right? So I wanted to have some Engine to leave that as a possibility. I would love to be put in a situation where I have to make a decision. Is it more valuable for me to buy NFTs, convert and go into another coin, stake Engine inside Efinity, or create my own NFTs by minting my own project, right? Which is the idea of that future business that I'm talking about. So like, right now I'm only in the development phase. I'm in the research phase of trying to understand like what kind of business would work. And the two things that come to mind is helping players be able to transact related to gas fees. The other one is renting NFTs. I could potentially use the NFTs that I have accumulated to be able to rent them to the other players. Both of those sound like those are issues that could be resolved with Efinity. So that doesn't sound like that may be the best way for me to go on a business standpoint, because I don't think I'm going to be able to compete with Efinity. That's why I'm going into the research phase. Trying to find a niche that I can be able to provide a good or a service to gamers, be paid for that good or service in Engine, because it's within the space, and then hopefully if I'm cash flow positive, if I'm profitable, be able to take that money and invest it in different ego spaces, or double down on my original investment. The concept of being able to of keeping track of different currencies is a difficult concept. So I'm a CPA. I'm a certified public accountant, and I'm located in Deep South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley. So I live in a border community. So I'm constantly dealing with people that price their businesses in dollars, and on the other side of the border price their businesses in pesos. So currency conversion is a common issue that I come across on a day-to-day basis. It's easier for me to understand why some of these items are worth what they're worth in Engine, because I already am comfortable being able to make dollar to peso conversions, and also having to understand, because when you're making a currency conversion, like there's rules in accounting under generally accepted accounting principles, and there's different rules, tax rules that say like how you should properly account for this. But in reality, these procedures are generally accepted practices. They're not the only practice. You know, they're the mostly favored practice. But they don't make sense for all businesses. Jump into a brand new industry like cryptocurrency, and adding all the additional headaches that come with regulation, that come with guidance from the IRS, that come with, you know, potential lawsuits. And we're in a very complicated industry. Okay, let's see. Let me check the chat real fast. Asset lending is what you're after by the sound of it. Renting. Yes. Renting is an avenue. Like creating my own project and creating my own NFTs is a value. The thing that I think is the most... The area where I'm going to be focusing my attention on the research side, which will take me a few weeks, I think, is actually going to be around this idea of a non-for-profit United States company whose purpose is to help upcoming artists in the crypto eco space develop and fund their projects. I'm thinking of this for a couple of reasons. First off, I'm very passionate, and I'm a very passionate supporter of the arts. I support local artists, dancers, painters, theater actors and actresses and directors. My entire family's in the arts, so the arts is passionate to me. I hold video game development I view video game development as an art that is based in technical know-how. So I believe that these artists should be compensated for their work, and I believe that they're not compensated enough equal to the amount of hours that they put in for their work. And I think that's natural across the entire art industry. I also could see a benefit in helping game developers create these projects, whatever that means. It could be providing game developers with a grant to hire a staff. It could be helping them launch an update that's related to minting because gas fees are so high. It could be helping them market or understand the crypto eco space. You know, it could be a lot of different services that could be provided in a non-profit fashion. Nonprofits in the U.S. right now have a very big tax benefit for cryptocurrencies, because the IRS and other regulatory agencies have defined cryptocurrencies as property. And the IRS has very specific rules on what it means, the benefits that you will receive for donating property, everything that falls under the property definition, into a non-for-profit entity. That can allow me to be able to donate into a nonprofit and potentially save on tax on the personal end, while also providing a good for the community that helps drive an ecospace or a project or a clan or a individual gamer, or, you know, the possibilities are endless. You know, that's the part I'm going to define, because like the possibilities are endless because there's so many things you can do. I want to know what are the things that I could do the best to be able to help the most, either developers or gamers. Like I was even like coming up with like back of the napkin type of things about like, maybe it's not renting. Like maybe it would be like, maybe another function that could play in the space would be something along the lines of, right now there's a whole bunch of gamers that want to play free to play and they want to be able to find items on their own. They don't necessarily want to pay for expensive items that they don't have the ability to do so, and they may not have the ability to do so. So what if becoming a member of a clan, of a guild, meant that in repayment for your initial pledge, you would be able to take an item out of the clan's vault, which is an item that I hold, as long as the amount of money that you put in, like an over collateralized loan. Like you put in $1,000 at any time, you can borrow up to let's say you put 500 engine in, you can borrow up to a 250 engine item, and as long as you return the item, the NFT would be returned to you. Now, there's ways to build this like in a decentralized fashion, but that's not my area of expertise. I would need to find a developer that might be able to help me build something along those lines. And what I kind of just described was like decentralized finance, but within the NFT ego space, which might be what Engine's working on right now. Again, if that is the case, then that's something that I will not be able to compete with. But doing the homework, I think is going to be worth it anyway, because it's going to be able to provide me with additional knowledge to make future decisions. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? You know, because it doesn't have to be a non-for-profit. Like it could be a for-profit company. It could be something that, like I said, providing a good or service for gamers for a fee. It could be a bunch. It could be a bunch of different things. The possibilities are endless, and that's why I'm going to go into the research phase. Whew, I'm gassed. I'm very low on sleep right now. So like right now, Zane says in the chat, what if there's a way to be able to cover like new players? Like maybe what if you're a guild member, what if you are able to take, as part of being a member, like the whole point of the guild is to be able to like support its members. What if one of those ways to support a member were to be a gas fee between $50 and $100 will be covered for one individual player one time a year, in case they get into a situation where they need to get their funds out of the market, or they need to move an NFT because they need the money now, you know, but they can't pay or afford the gas fee. Like maybe there's a way that the clan could help support that. In order to do that, though, of course, the clan would need to be able to bring in revenue. Now, I know that I can bring in a revenue by operating by allocating funds to different liquidity pools, be able to like put forth a treasury that could invest in itself, with the goal of like building up more engine or building up more Ethereum in the future to be able to handle these gas fees. And then maybe pay a membership fee like the way a way a car club does. Like you're a member of a club, you can rent out or you can take out an extremely vintage sports car to drive around the city for a weekend, to take to out on a whatever. Like, you can rent a 1967 Ford Mustang halfback, one of my favorite classic cars. You can rent or you can take out, or one of the membership perks would be being able to borrow a transcendent item for a week to be able to use when the next update comes out and there's a dungeon, there's a boss raid. I mean, I don't know. Like the finances of the guild would have to, or of the company or of the nonprofit would have to be able to account for that. And I think there's ways that we could figure out how that works. But I think the main thing is I need to better understand what the community wants and needs. And I think that's not only gamers, I think that's developers. And that's what I look forward to researching. Am I talking crazy, guys? Is there anything that I said that you just that just doesn't resonate with you? Or that it does resonate with you, but you might not see a way to actually make it possible right now and then? Because it might not be. Like, I might not be able to do anything right now. But maybe after Efinity comes out, if I have the, if an opportunity crosses my path, I want to be ready to be able to jump on it. I think I heard. Why did I come over here? Oh yeah, I wanted to check the bounties to see. I don't even know. Have new bounties launched? All right, new bounties launched 30 minutes ago. Let's see, what can I do? I don't have any ruby cedar. I can buy a Draco berry. I can buy gloves. This is gonna be expensive. Damn. Well, there's not very many 3 stars. There's only 2. I can't do this one. I need an engineer, kill these guys. I'll come back to that. Damn, it never takes me to Mount Olkep. I want to go to Mount Olkep. Trees, fishing, brushes, rocks. Okay, I'll do this one. I want to stay in Mount Olkep. Okay, I'll accept this one. Perfect. Think it's a great plan? Yeah. The other thing that I understand, though, is that in order for me to accomplish what I want, like I own and operate. I've owned and operated 4 or 5 different companies. Like, my very first business that I ever owned was when I was a pro gamer. I was playing professionally. I was playing through the MLG pro circuit. I had gone, to New York, Chicago, Anaheim, Orlando. I was competing in all these different tournaments. And when I returned home to Texas, to be able to generate funds to support, because I had sponsorships for some tournaments and sponsorships for other tournaments, to be able to continue playing, I created my own business. And that business's job was to host tournaments in my local area, and I was putting together tournaments for, like, my largest tournament had 250 individual players. A 32 team bracket, a free for all, a 2v2, and a 4v4. And I raised a good amount of money, and I was only like 18, 19. Like, I was doing good. Ultimately, I was too young to be able to understand like how to make the business succeed in a world where Xbox Live was becoming the number one thing, and I was hosting in-person local tournaments. Regardless, I've been in the gaming space. Like, my very first job was that small business, and that very first small business was just throwing Halo 2 tournaments. Like, I've been in gaming since the beginning, and this is my return to gaming, to like the gaming business, the gaming industry. Now, I understand. I did that entire business myself, and I can create a business that I can own and operate that matches the skills that I can put forward as a CPA, as a gamer, as a cryptocurrency investor and an NFT collector. Like I can put together a business that operates in that field, but I can only do so much. And I understand that if I'm going to want to grow, if I'm going to really want if I really want to make this the thing, I'm going to need to have a team. Okay, but having a team is difficult to do. Ideally, I would love to have a place. I would love to be in a place where I could support salaried individuals, but that's not a reality right now. So I'm trying to figure out ways that I might be able to have discussions with individual gamers where they could maybe not donate their time, but be able to put forth their own effort in their own personal way, contribute in their own personal way, and be rewarded. Maybe that looks like a stipend, where it's like a small one-time fee for a big project, even though it's, the fee is a lot less than the work that they put in, but it's like it's an ongoing effort to be able to get people, hire people, to pay people. Or maybe it looks like, I don't know, maybe it looks like a way where, I use the budget for the business to create NFTs that are backed by ENJ to a certain dollar amount, and as a reward for being able to do certain things and helping the clan grow or the nonprofit grow or the business grow, rewarding individuals with NFTs. It's all research right now. It's all trying to get an understanding of what can be done. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've even had ideas in my head about like, what would it mean? Let's say Lost Relic items right now aren't. Let's say the new blockchain items aren't being minted because gas fees are high. Maybe the organization can come in and help support the creation of those NFTs for Lost Relics. To be able to benefit not only the players and the game, but the gaming organization in its own right. Cliff has it. This is Cliff's baby, and I would never want to assume anything. But my point is that those are realistic situations. Like sooner or later, a developer is going to be in the space, and they're going to need help. I would love to have the resources to be able to help. What would I be able to get in return? All depends on the amount of help that I can put forward and where I believe that I can drive value. And it's the same thing like I do in my business. Like, when I'm handling clients' taxes, they come to me and they're asking me for a quote on how much I think I'm going to be able to help them. And I have to be able to give an estimate. But I also have to be able to understand, like, this person's not going to come and pay me for my services if they're not going to receive a benefit in return. If I'm going to save them $5,000 in taxes, but charge them $7,000, are they really benefiting from my work? The answer could be yes still, but I want to make sure that my client understands the value that I'm providing. So if I charge $4,000 to save them and they save $5,000, they make $1,000 too. You see what I'm saying? It's a way to be able to show value for a service, because services are intangible. There's nothing for someone to be able to hold in their hand to say, to say that this is valuable. His work is valuable because of this, which a majority of my work is just a piece of paper. And now it's not even a piece of paper. It's just a PDF. It's a PDF copy of your tax return. You see what I'm saying? So we'll see. Whew, I think we had a good discussion there, guys. I think we covered a lot of basics. I think I put together a good little argument to support my decision making. I do believe that there's risks. My average cost basis right now on the ENJ token that I just bought is about 53 cents a token. Right now, the ENJ is worth 60 cents. It's gone up a little bit. Okay, the price tomorrow could come and fall back down to 20 cents. I personally think because there's only 1 billion tokens. Just look at it like this, man. Like the second ENJ passes $1. Now players are no longer going to be asking. I don't think players are going to be asking themselves if it should be priced in dollars. I think they're going to ask themselves Engine's more valuable than a dollar. I don't want dollars. I want the more valuable thing. Because one engine is now worth $2. So now I think I'm going to price everything in engine. Right now, because we're sub $1, I think that might be a reason for people to be hesitant or not fully feel like they understand the value of engine. And of course, other players are going to come in and say, Engine's lying to us. They're never going to launch Efinity. And even if they do, it's going to fail. And that might be completely right. That is the gamble. But I'm safe in gambling in Engine. Excuse me, guys. I'm okay gambling in Engine. Even if I believe Engine might go down in time. Because I believe Engine is the number one gaming token in the blockchain ecospace. I believe there's going to be a whole bunch of credited investors and institutions that are going to buy the leaders of each sector of cryptocurrency simply because they have to have exposure and they have to have, like, institutions do not start buying stocks and not add Apple or Amazon to their portfolio unless that is specifically what their goal is, like not to own tech. If you're just naturally going to be invested in the stock market and you're managing millions and trillions of dollars and billions of dollars, you're not going to own the largest company in the world. Whether that's Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, whoever. You're going to have an allocation to that sector. You might think that gold is going down. You might completely believe in Bitcoin, but if you're invested in the stock market, you're going to have to own a portion of gold. You're going to have to hedge. So I think companies are going to have to buy Engine token. Just like they're going to have to buy Decentraland if they're really going to have access to this space. Okay, so here's the goal right now, guys. I think I'm going to do one more run. Let's get our level 59. And we'll probably call it there. Unless you guys can think of another topic you want me to go into real quick. But you let me know. You let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. You can hit me up on obviously here on Twitch, Strike Team Games, and also on YouTube, Strike Team Games, where I post a majority of the streams so that they can be viewed later. For the players that don't speak English, you'll be able to get the translation on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is FMunozCPA, which is FMUNOZ CPA. And what I normally do is as I'm finding unique research on Twitter, I post it and I share it. So if you're ever wanting to do research, you can follow it and read the articles that I drop. Level 59 accomplished. Watch out. You know, answering a couple things that people were putting in Telegram earlier, they were talking about market manipulation, that someone could list their item and then buy it from themselves, like, under a different account, so don't trust the item price. Is that possible? Yes. Does it make a lot of sense? No, not really, because the person that lists has to pay a fee, and then buyers have to pay a fee. So if you're doing both, you're giving away money. The higher the value of the item, the more the percentage you're losing. Is it possible? Yes. Will some people do it? Yes. But when I look at items on the marketplace, and there's like Dark Scourge has sold 10 times in the past 5-6 months, I don't think all 10 of those is market manipulation. And at the end of the day, like, I need to come up with what I believe the engine value or the price of these items are. It shouldn't matter what it's listed. I should be able to formulate my own opinion, especially on high dollar items. You know, if you're buying a rare and the fees are down and you don't really care, I'll pay $10 or I'll pay $5, like I just want it right now, that's fine. But when you're paying $3,000, $4,000 and the difference between a buy or sell could be $500-$600, like, you take your time and you make sure that your calculations are correct. You know, the other business that I could do if this was to be a for-profit business, the other thing that I could do is potentially like offer research, consulting research, the same way that I do as a CPA, consulting services for people that are inside the blockchain space. I mean, normally when I do consulting services, I offer them for taxes and for crypto, like being able to not manage your crypto portfolio, but like manage the taxes within your portfolio and your trades and understanding your position allocations and all that. But maybe it could be a little bit more nuanced. Maybe it can just be like, hey, helping you understand the items, or like being able to help you execute trades of your blockchain items. Like maybe someone wants to trade you an item for an item and you want a recommendation. You know, maybe if you're a guild member, maybe you have maybe I'm able to give, 1 hour of consulting, which I normally charge for the CPA firm free for a clan member. I mean, maybe there's ways to be able to add value. I just want to take a look at all the different ways and kind of understand where do I have an advantage that I could provide more bang for the buck, and what problems can I solve for players or investors. Well, peeps, we hit level 59. Probably going to wrap up this dungeon soon. I think the last thing I might want to do is go take a look at the marketplace real fast, because I did notice some interesting trends that I'm speculating on, but I haven't done the homework on. All right. So we hit an epic on this run. That's not bad. I think epics are the sweet spot right now, where I'm personally expecting prices to rise across the board as soon as gas fees drop. I think there's a lot of players that get hooked in this game because of how fun it is. And I think that they're going to be willing to pay for a lot of these items once they're able to save on fees. I'm also slightly afraid that these fees might not be going down. And I'm not going to say ever, but because, I mean, with all these breaking news that PayPal and MasterCard and BNY Mellon, like the oldest bank in the United States, just made an announcement that they're going to start custodying crypto assets. Like, we're in full bull mode territory, guys. So don't freak out, because there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of millionaires and, frankly, billionaires that are about to be created, in my opinion. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. On the other hand, Alex Saunders, which is a crypto investor, researcher that I respect, I believe he just put out a video saying that he was taking profits in certain tokens right now. I disagree with him, but I haven't watched that video. I'm still going long. He may be right. We also might have two completely different categories of definitions of success right now, and that's completely fine. The other thing, guys, you have to remember, when you're buying and selling and trading with people, there is no win-lose. Like, that's the problem, is people assume that, like, oh, I got the better end of the trade, like I won the trade. But that's not the case. I don't care if you trade a Transcendent for an Epic. Like, that doesn't mean you won the trade. Each trade means that the individual person that accomplished the goal that they wanted to accomplish. Now, you could say, like, oh man, I should have made more. But at the time that you agreed, it was equal value for what you traded. You see what I'm saying? So me selling a Transcendent item on major discount might not mean that I lose. It might mean that I got that Transcendent before anybody else, and I paid almost nothing for it. So moving it for a 60% discount, is a huge win for me. Even though for you, you might think like you're stealing it from me because it should only be 80% discount and that you won. Both parties can win. It's not a zero-sum game. Although most people want to look at it like that because it's easier to understand. It's an easier perspective to understand, but the easiest perspective isn't necessarily the most correct. All right, Harvester, do your magic. Woo! I think I missed one path. Again, I apologize, guys. Low on energy and my allergies are really acting up, so not able to give you 100% enthusiasm like I normally do. But I still think we had a good discussion, a good stream, a good two-way conversation. I'd also like to thank Ema, if she's listening in the background, because we had this conversation on the phone prior to me going live, because I was telling her that what I was about to talk about. And she's the one that helped me realize that that probably the reason, I mean, we don't know if this is correct, but I mean, I think she is. She's the one that helped me realize that the fact that Engine is below $1, below the flat value of the dollar is what is affecting a majority of players' thought process. They naturally believe Engine is less expensive, less valuable than the dollar, even though you shouldn't be pricing your NFT. You shouldn't be pricing any cryptocurrency in the dollar figure that they sell for. You should be pricing your NFT based on the market cap that it has compared to all other cryptocurrencies. And that's going to be it. Let's see. Shilbold, I think that's how you say it. I'm too tired to provide good input, but I was very interested in the elaborations. Awesome, bro. Like what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the video to YouTube, and I'll probably post the video in the Telegram and in the chat. There's a lot of people that aren't watching right now because they're sleeping or because, you know, they're busy or whatnot. So they'll get a chance to see it later. Hopefully we can have a discussion on the Discord or on the conversations to keep it going. I'm more than positive that my view isn't the only view. I'm really hoping that someone, even if they agree with my point of view, I would really like someone to just post their input, even if they play devil's advocate, just to give the opposing view. Because I think having this discussion will help a lot of people. I mean, hell, it might even help me. Like I completely hold the right to change my mind whenever I can. Like that's what a good investor does. You convince me that my thought process is wrong, I'm going to invest in whatever you convince me to invest in. But that's why we have the intellectual debate, right? That's why we have the discussion. Let's go take. Oh yeah, we got an item. All right, baby. Here we go. Give me a warden key. All right, epic. Oh, 2 epics. Okay, I'll take them. Nice. Very nice. The landmines, I love them. Do me a favor, guys. If you haven't followed me, go ahead and hit that follow button. Find me on YouTube. Just Strike Team Games Lost Relics. You can just search it. Strike Team Games. This video I'm only streaming on Twitch right now, but I'll get it up on YouTube soon. Oh, I wanted to check out the market with you guys because there was one little interesting thing that I saw that I wanted to share with you guys, and you can tell me what your thoughts are. If we go back and we look. Oh wait, was Lost Relics like right there? Featured product? Very nice. Marketplace on sale. Let's go look at marketplace activity and just show me what's sold. Gas fees have been high for how long? I mean, we've been in the same gas channel for the past 7 days. So anyone that bought anything within the past 7 days paid up gas fees. Some of them, we could say that they did it on purpose, and some of them we can say that they didn't. But start taking a look at this. Harvester, that makes complete sense that someone paid $50 for a 500. Like, they paid extra to get that harvester. That makes sense. I think it's really interesting because whoever's buying these epics, and they're buying in bulk, 3, 2. I was actually looking at investing in this Night Shedder right now. I'm not going to be buying, but I was looking at it because... Shoot, what am I doing here? How do I get back? There we go. If we sort by highest price, you can see that I think that epic is the cheapest available weapon, epic weapon on the market. I sorted it by highest price, and the cheapest epic right now to buy is, the Night Shredder. It doesn't go lower than that. And someone has 17 and 14 available. I was actually thinking about coming in and buying all these. I'm gonna hold right now because Efinity. I need to hold the engine because that's the reason why I placed the $10,000 bet. Which my position is right here. Right here. I personally think, like, if Engine's the number one game token in the gaming ecospace, and right now its market cap is at 550 million, ranked 89, what's to say it shouldn't have a rank of like 67 and get up to like a basic attention token, which would be like almost a doubling. 50% increase from where we're at. So if we're at 60 cents, that would be plus 30, 90 cents a token. Like, I think that's realistic. I think you can make an argument of basic attention token versus engine. So there's price appreciation in my opinion. Hence one of the reasons why I bought it. But going back to what we were saying, legendaries, that makes complete sense. I would understand a legendary going, like someone paying a $20 fee for a $150 item. This is the big Arca ring that just got sold, $3,000. That was huge. I mean, to be honest, like, go back and look at all my streams. I believe the owner of this NFT was Play to Earn, and he and me had discussions about this particular item, and I told multiple people on stream that it was probably the best, the highest value relic available on the market, and you know, that was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and now it's sold. Someone bought the Cataclysm too. I didn't see that. 2 days did they buy it? They bought it within 5 minutes of each other. Could have been the same person. Edge of Lost Comrades. 8 days ago, 5 days ago. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. These might be mistakes made by players, paying extra ETH for gas when they didn't need to. 7 minute difference. That was seconds. So someone bought all these three. 1, 2, 3. Or multiple people just at the same time. A Zilborn at 1,000. Yeah, I just think it's really interesting. I think that's gonna have to be where we leave it, guys, unless there's something else that you wanted me to look at while we're on the marketplace. Our weekly volume right now with fees so high is 20,000 engine a week. So when we were playing at its height, I think it was in the October-November range, the highest I saw the weekly volume was about 235,000 engine a week were being sold. And at 60 cents a coin right now, it's about $140,000 in a week of players exchanging value. That only counts the on-marketplace transactions. So what about that's at 60 cents. So let's cut the price in half. So let's divide by 2. Let's say that happened when engine was around 30 cents a coin. So that would have been about 70,000 engine a coin. I'm expecting if Efinity launches the sky's the limit. But if gas fees go down, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 400,000 engine per week. Because we have more players. That's my main argument. But okay. I think that's going to have to be it for me right now, guys. Find me on YouTube. Find me on Twitch. Find me on, well, you already found me on Twitch. Find me on Twitter. I'll definitely be posting this in the chat. I hope you guys had a good time. And in the meantime, keep grinding. Keep doing what you're doing. Good luck with the drops. And peace.